right, welcome to Broman Field for tonight's broadcast between the Blue Devils and the visiting Chancellor Chargers. It's senior recognition night. We're in the process of that right now. Coach Ford, thanks for joining us, and we haven't seen you for a while, but your thoughts on tonight's game?
Hey, thank you for having me. Right now, tonight's game is a must-win for us. We want to get seeding in the playoffs, and tonight's a good step in that direction, also to build some momentum going into the playoffs. So tonight's a big night for us.
Any reason why you can't get it done tonight?
No. Right now, we're just trying to get our guys healthy and play the best we can, play the best football we can, play sound football.
All right, I know Steve's got a couple questions for you, but one of the things about it is that this might be the last regular season game for you, or it could be November 1st against King George.
Yes. Right now, the way things look, we're going to be playing King George on November 1st. But again, it's to benefit both teams, but either way, we'll be ready to play.
All right, Steve.
Coach, Bennett Sutherland, how's his health?
Right now, he's coming back. We're going to try to take it, try to play him as much as possible, play him as hard as possible. But again, we're not going to try to sacrifice the kid to win the game. We're going to try to play the best way we can.
And your backup, Caleb Green, is that?
Yes, Caleb Green will be our backup today. Young kid, he can spin it. He's learning, so some things will change for him. But he's an athlete, heck of an athlete.
Coach, it's senior recognition night, and one of the seniors who may be as motivated as anyone else is a fellow by the name of Devin Polari. Are you familiar with him?
Oh yeah, the Polari family, great family. One of our best football players. Proud of the kid, worked hard, large summer, and it's shown on the field.
I mean, just hand the ball off. You know you're going to get 3 or 4 yards every time he hands the ball. You're going to get those tough yards inside with Devin. Coach, speaking of the seeding for the playoffs, you have to win this game to get in, or you're already in?
Actually, that's kind of cloudy. We're not exactly sure because right now we're tied for 7th with Goochland. So it depends on what they do with their schedule, and also we got Meridian not nipping on our heels. So it depends what happens with those two teams.
Yeah, because Goochland's got a tough game against Orange tonight.
Yes.
It seems to me like you really enhance your chances, though.
With
you
the
win
win.
tonight.
With the win. Definitely.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go into any game saying trying to jockey for position. But right now, that's what point we're in right now.
We wish you all the best. We'll be pulling for you, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
All right. Good job. All right.
Okay, Steve. Well, welcome back. Last week you were gone, and Chris Frazier filled in real nicely for you. Did a great job. So you're back, and this is the last regular season game. Not only they may play November 1st. It's the last one on the schedule. Likewise for Eastern View. So the point being is that both Eastern View and Culpeper will get their byes, at least on the schedule, the last week of the season. And that's a good thing for Blue Devils. Coach Ford said they've been pretty shaken up.
Yeah, they are. They've been banged up. That's why I asked about Bennett Sutherland. I heard he was injured. Great broadcast last week. I did stream it down there in Nags Head. It came in pretty good, and so that was fun, watching it. I was just, with Culpeper now, Chancellor hadn't won a game. But we know that the record throw it out, okay, because James Monroe hadn't won a game and Culpeper lost. They need this game. I know Coach is hoping on the playoffs and Meridian and a couple other factors, but he can lock himself in with a win tonight, and that's what he's got to do.
Well, I looked at the results and reminded myself that the Blue Devils haven't won since we were down in the bleachers at Caroline.
Right.
Back on September 23, I think it was. So, unfortunately, they're riding a 3-game losing streak. And I don't think they should have lost a couple of games, but those are in the books now, and you have to always look ahead in the team in front of you. Steve, I don't know any reason why they can't beat Chancellor tonight and at least lock up at number 7 seed in the postseason.
Well, yeah, I mean, Caroline's already qualified in the 3B playoff. And what a shame they get to go and Culpeper's already beaten them in the regular season. So, yeah, all the motivation is tonight with Culpeper. Definitely they can really cement their position with a win. But Chancellor's not going to be a pushover. So we're going to have to really, play sound defense. I would say give Polari the ball and just pound.
That's the old, what they call smash mouth football. Yep. And if you're doing that, you're not turning it over, you're getting your yardage, you're moving the sticks, you're milking the clock, and you're keeping the other team off the field. That's always an ideal scenario.
It is, and it's helping, with Sutherland's injured and can't go. Caleb Green, because he'll have to step in. I heard he did a pretty good job as a backup, but what better way to help him if you get the running game going?
All right, well, welcome back, and I look forward to calling the game with you tonight. Here on behalf of the Culpeper Media Network, it's always great to be with you. We are at Broman Field for tonight's game, and we're going through the pregame ceremonies, and that includes senior recognition night. for both the cheerleading team and these seniors on this Culpeper team. So, they're going to have something to prove tonight, and we hope they get the job done. We'll see. Well, we'll take a break. That'll be it for our pregame show tonight. We'll come back with team captains meeting in the center of the field for the coin toss to start tonight's game. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
From Broman Field, welcome to tonight's broadcast of high school football. And you're watching and viewing right now the team captains from both the Blue Devils and the visiting Chancellor Chargers, conferring with the official for the coin toss for tonight's game. I'm Mark O'Connell, welcoming back to the broadcast Steve Peacock, our man behind the camera, of course, Johnny Krawchuk, and back in the studio of the Culpeper Media Network is Nicole Wooten. Steve, welcome aboard, and this is what was supposed to be the last game of the regular season for the Blue Devils, but there is a makeup game scheduled for November 1st against King George. Notwithstanding that makeup game, I would not say that the Blue Devils, as they look toward the postseason, are in a must-win situation tonight. But if they do win, it certainly keeps the waters a little clearer rather than muddying the waters as far as the postseason lineup's concerned.
Yeah, if they win, it's a little bit cleaner slate the way it's going to play out. But if they lose, doesn't mean they're out, but they're going to have to rely on other people. So other teams, why not? You don't really go down that road if you can control your own destiny for the win tonight.
Well, and the Blue Devils won the toss and have opted to receive. Let's talk about the Blue Devils, Steve. They come into tonight's game with a record of 2 wins and 6 losses. They're really they're on a 3-game losing streak. They haven't won since we were down at Caroline, and lost a couple of heartbreakers, particularly to James Monroe, I think. But they had certainly been plagued by the injury bug. And one of the things that Coach Ford told us before this game tonight is that, having this bye week at the end of the season is actually a good thing for them, because it's going to give the Blue Devils a chance to heal up and not be virtually the walking wounded.
Right. That gives them, if and that we're talking about that makeup game on Tuesday, that's really not a done deal, because if it doesn't mean anything, they probably won't play it. Mm-hmm. But if it means something for King George to move up or Culpeper to get in, then that game would be played. But, yeah, they would like to be able to have the whole bye week and then not play until the 11th. That gives them almost 2 weeks to heal up, and they would like to see that, because they're playing hurt. I mean, Bennett Sutherland, he's going to go tonight starting at quarterback, but he's banged up. We're going to see how much he can contribute tonight. And basically, the Blue Devils got to lay it on the line, Mark. If they win, they control their destiny. So they really don't want to lose this game.
All right. Angel Villatoro has teed it up for the Chargers. Will be kicking off here to start this game at Broman Field. The Chargers are winless this season at 0-7. This kick is short and taken Was this a squib or an onside? They were trying maybe to catch the Blue Devils napping. Didn't do it as Noah Capetti recovers it for Culpeper and Steve right off the jump street here, so to speak. Blue Devils will have excellent field position.
Yeah, that was a design, Mark. That was their Chancellor to use their quick players to see if they could catch Culpeper napping. You were correct. But that didn't work. Now the Blue Devils are going to have here a good field position. But when you look at the makeup there of Chancellor, they're very undersized. Culpeper should be able to dominate up front.
Bennett Sutherland is the Blue Devil quarterback. In the gun here. They go to the run. This is Jakari Edwards. Edwards dives forward across midfield. Chancellor territory at the 48-yard line. He'll give him about 4, maybe 5 yards in the play, brings up second down. Steve, you thought that the Blue Devils might give us a heavy dose of Devin Polari tonight. And Devin Polari is one of 12 Blue Devils seniors who was honored during the pregame ceremony.
Although Polari's going to see the ball a lot, and basically if the offensive line can get there and control the line of scrimmage, you're going to see a lot of both Williams and Polari running the football.
All right, here is second down and 6 for the Blue Devils. Opening drive of this first quarter. Sutherland, hands off. Jakari Edwards is stood up, pushed back, shy of the line of scrimmage. He'll lose yardage here. It's going to bring up third and long. It's going to be back on the Culpeper side of that midfield. And Jakari Edwards lost his helmet, so he'll come to the sidelines for a play.
Yeah, Edwards right there was kind of bottled up, Mark, and he kind of ran straight up instead of getting down to pad level. And Chancellor was able to bring him down for a little and really lost yardage. But you look at the line for Chancellor, they're not that big, but they're going to be quick. And Culpeper's got to recognize that.
All right, here's a third and long for Culpeper. Opening possession of the first quarter here at Broman Field. Bennett Sutherland on third and long. Chancellor brings some pressure. Sutherland throws. This one nearly picked off. Threw it behind the intended receiver, A.J. Marshall. And defending on the play for Chancellor was John Thompson. So that'll force a fourth down. And we'll see the punting team likely. And that means R.J. Uribe.
And, maybe, Mark, that was a little bit of rustiness there by Bennett Sutherland trying to do that slant, that quick in to pick up the first down, but he was a little bit late on the delivery. Lucky he wasn't intercepted.
All right, well, I don't see R.J. Uribe in the punting team. I see a fourth down and 8, and the Blue Devils lined up to go for it here. What gives here, Steve?
I don't know. I think it might be a quick kick.
Garrett Damewood was the man in motion. They brought him off sides. That worked. That's going to give him 5 yards. It's not going to give him enough for a first down, but does it change the complexion of things and what your play call might be?
Well, that was a good call right there. Got Chancellor jump 5 yards. Now makes it 4th and 1. So now it's doable. Now I would be sitting there and sending Devin Polari in there, and he's already in there. I'd be handing it to him and just say, get us that 1 yard. It's going to say, I bet you, it looks like it's going to be almost 2, Mark.
Well, the line of scrimmage, they started their Culpeper on its own 47, and they have it to the Chancellor 46. So that would make it closer to 4th and 3 here, but a different play than 4th and 8. Well, they're going to go to the run. This is the quarterback running. That was actually Devin Polari. He was lined up in there in front of Jakari Edwards, and direct snap to Polari, and that's what you wanted to see is Polari running straight ahead. He gives the Blue Devils a first down out to the Chancellor 41-yard line. Steve, he needed 3, and he picked up 5.
Yeah, he sure did, and that was a good play call right there because Chancellor didn't recognize it. They thought it was Sutherland was in the quarterback, and it was direct snap to Polari.
And now Sutherland is back in there on with a new set of downs here. Culpeper has it 1st and 10 at the Chancellor 41. Back to the run they go. Jakari Edwards trying to bounce off that wall in front of him, and then Chancellor, the Chargers, come up and close pretty nicely as they're going to stop him for a loss in the play. Looks like back. Well, let's check the spot. Actually, they stop him at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Clock running, 9:30 to go here in the first quarter. This is Culpeper's opening drive. No score. And this broadcast brought to you in part by Fountain Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Fountain Sons, 825-3530. All right. Second down and 10 here. Bennett Sutherland back to the run. This is Devin Polari, I believe, picking his way across the 40 and shy of the 35. They'll mark it down at the 38. They picked up 4, brings up 3rd and 6.
And again, Mark, I'd be handing it to Polari. He seems like he can get the tough yards. Nothing against Jakari Edwards, but Edwards, when he hits the hole, he kind of hitting the hole straight up instead of getting down to pad level and trying to grind out those extra yards.
Steve, I think they're probably in 2-down territory here too, don't you?
Yep.
Sutherland looked left. Here comes some pressure. Going to try to run away from it. Throws on the run. Incomplete. Had a receiver eligible out there. It was Cole Plaster. And the pass was short, but it's incomplete. And no sack on the play. No penalty flag on the play. And that brings up a 4th and 6 or closer to a 7. And this is a second situation now on this opening drive that the Blue Devils found them in a fourth and long. The last time they were there, they were successful in pulling Chancellor off sides to get 5 free yards, and then on a 4th and 3 they were able to convert. Let's see what they do here on 4th and 7.
Well, like I said, they're going to have to throw the ball, Mark, unless they get a big wide hole, up in the line where they can run it. So we'll see.
Long snap count. Looks like Sutherland is trying to draw them off sides. Chancellor backs off this time, trying to play a little more discipline. Now we have a whistle.
He's got a timeout, Culpeper.
All right. Timeout by the Blue Devils, and our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. UVACreditUnion.org. And, of course, we are live this season, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
And, Mark, I'd like to know what Culpeper's, 4th down conversion percentage is, because now you're looking at a 4th and 6. I would be more to calling the punter and pin Chancellor back and make him earn it and to flip the field here a little bit, but they're going to look like they're going to try to go for it on 4th and 6. It's a gutsy call right here.
Well, I mean, RJ Uribe is not in there, and I guess the question then is there anyone else on this team that might try a quick kick? And I don't know what the answer to that is at this point, but they certainly line up to go for it here on 4th and 7 after that timeout. So here is Sutherland. He's got some time, throws it downfield. And we had a receiver out there. Cole Plaster had a step on the defender, Dwayne Stewart, or make that Justin Bird, but Plaster, the pass was incomplete. Stevie had a step, and the ball was simply overthrown.
Well, and it was basically Sutherland should have had to wait a little bit. He got a little anxious and kind of overthrew him. He had to really let Plaster break free from his defender, which he did, but by that time the ball was already in the air and it's just a little bit overthrown.
All right, so now we'll get a look at Chancellor's offense. No question, Steve, this has not been the Chargers' year. They're 0-7, and looking at the results, they've only scored 20 points this season. And in 7 games, you do the math, that's only about 3 points a game.
Well, you look at them, they're very young, too, and that's the other thing is they lost a lot of, seniors last year, and they're young this year for sure.
Well, and they've got a muff on the first snap as Aiden Booman, the quarterback, didn't get a handle on it, but he had a teammate who did, and back to the 34. So with that, the Chargers lose 3 yards, and they now look at 2nd and 13 with 8 minutes to play here in the first quarter. We are at Broman Field, and we're scoreless. The Blue Devils have had the ball once, and now this is Chancellor's first crack at the pigskin, as the expression goes. On 2nd and 13 now from the 34. And on this end around, this is Chancellor's Dwayne Stewart being bottled up and dropped for a loss. And we'll check the spot here. I thought there might be a penalty flag on the play, but I'm not sure I can spot it at this point.
I don't see any laundry, Mark. It was just a good play by the Blue Devils.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what would be expecting the Blue Devils to do. Pressure. You got a young quarterback in there. You got an inexperienced offensive line. Put all the pressure on the quarterback. Make them have to make a play. But you also got to tell your safeties and your cornerbacks, hey, look, don't let somebody get behind you.
Steve, it looks like it was a holding against Chancellor, and the Blue Devils declined it because of the big loss on the play.
Right.
And they didn't want to give the down back to Chancellor, so now it makes it third down. And let's check this here. They have the ball now up to 29, lost 5 on that. So third down and about 18 here.
See if Culpeper just got to make sure, just watch for those wide receivers and get pressure on the quarterback.
Booman swings it out in the backfield there. Ball is loose. They ruled it an incomplete pass. Chancellor right now not looking real sharp, Steve. And that was Booman trying to get it to Tyshawn Wilson, I should say. And Tyshawn Wilson is probably one of the star players on this Chancellor team.
Well, they're also lucky they didn't get it. You know, it was not considered a backward pass. It was on that line, but they said it was a forward pass. But anyway, Culpeper's going to get the ball here in good field position. Now they see what Chancellor cannot do on offense, and let's see what they can do here with this next possession.
James Hodges, the punter. It's a high snap, gets it down. This one looks like it was partially blocked, no doubt. And then the ball takes a Blue Devil bounce, and now it's picked up by Tucker Dean from about the 20-yard line. He's in there for a touchdown unless they bring it back, Steve.
They got to bring it back. You can't advance them up.
Yeah.
So he can't advance it. So it's going to be Culpeper ball right here on the 15-yard line. It's not going to be considered a touchdown because they can't advance the punt. And now the officials are talking about it because, you know, if it was blocked, you can advance it. If it was a muff,
it was. And they just signaled touchdown. Tucker Dean here tonight, Steve, gets the Blue Devils' first touchdown. And after your signature exclamation, I want to revisit that.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Tucker Dean was picking up that block punt and putting it in the end zone for 6 points.
Well, Tucker Dean was one of the 12 seniors on the football team recognized. And by the way, pregame ceremony recognized the seniors on both the football and cheerleading teams. But on that football team, Tucker Dean was recognized. And when they get to his favorite memory, it wasn't what has happened, it was what he hoped to happen. By the way, this point after, no good. But Tucker Dean's favorite memory is not what has happened, but what he wants to happen, which is to beat Chancellor the last game of his high school career here at home. And so, with that being said, there's something sort of, what's the term, poetic about him picking up a fumble and scoring.
Yeah, I mean, this is now going to be his best senior memory. You know, in his last home game, give or take, it might not be. But here he scores a touchdown, and with the position he plays, he's generally not going to get a chance to score touchdowns. So that was a great pickup. The officials, let me go back on what happened on that play. If it was a poor punt and nothing had hit it, then Culpeper can down, but they can't advance it there. And it said since it was blocked, therefore they could advance the ball, and the officials said he did. And
all right, we have our first score. Blue Devils strike first. 7 minutes to play, 6-0 Culpeper here in the first quarter. This broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn Garden and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. Also want to mention CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. Okay, RJ Uribe has teed it up for the Blue Devils, up 6-0. And Chancellor set to receive this kickoff. This one, they keep it short, on the ground. One hopper to the return man at the 15-yard line. This is Dwayne Stewart. Here's Stewart with a nice return. Gives his team a lift as he got out across the 35-yard line and across the 40. And it looks like we'll have pretty good field position. Chancellor, Steve, no doubt struggling this year. And just that first look on offense showed me, and of course this is something they can correct, of course, but it showed me that they're really not in sync this season.
That's right. And like I said, they're very young, Mark, and they're going to be, and they're showing it. Again, let me go. I want to clarify something on that punt. What had happened was the reason they could pick up and score, it didn't go past the line of scrimmage and was blocked. And if it had been past the line of scrimmage, they couldn't advance it. So the officials determined it didn't get to the line of scrimmage on that block, so that's why Culpeper was able to go in and score that touchdown.
All right. Well, Chancellor's Tyshawn Wilson on the run got past midfield to the Culpeper 49, and that is a pickup of 8 yards, or closer to 7 actually at the spot. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3. Clock running. We're stopped actually at 6:45, and 6-0 in favor of Culpeper. The Chancellor quarterback is Aiden Booman, a sophomore, wears jersey number 9. And in motion is Stewart. Here's Booman. Here comes the pressure. He tries to get it to Stewart to set up the screen, and that did not look like that was going to materialize in anything productive, but the incomplete pass there brings up a 3rd down.
Yeah, and what Culpeper's got to do is continue doing what they're doing, just apply pressure to that quarterback. They're looking like, when you look at Chancellor's offensive line along with their defensive line, they're very undersized, very young, and I don't want to keep hammering that hammer all night long, but Culpeper's got to take advantage of it, use their size.
All right, here's 3rd and 3 for the Chargers. Aiden Booman back there with his running back. That's Wilson. Wilson, the ball carrier, looking for running yards. And the Blue Devils combined to tackle him. Devin Polari and number 8, Griffin Tanner combined for the Culpeper tackle that will drop Chancellor about a yard shy of a 1st down. And here is 4th and 1 coming for the Chargers.
And right now, I'm not liking what I'm seeing Culpeper in their defensive backfield. They're basically saying, Darren Chancellor, you're not going to throw over us, so we're going to move up. So look at it. If they get to past that 2nd level, they're gone.
Booman will now operate under center on 4th and 1. And we've got a whistle.
And it looks like it's going to be, maybe it could be, a legal shift to Chancellor. It's going to be.
Well, Chancellor's players are celebrating.
No, they're saying it is on Culpeper. They jumped. I thought it was a shift. Because the first official looked like it was a.
That'll move it down to the 42, where it is 1st and 10. A new set of downs for Chancellor. 5:57 to play in this 1st quarter. And this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473.
And again, Culpeper got a dose of its own medicine right there. Chancellor.
1st and 10 now, Chancellor at the Culpeper 42. Aiden Booman handing off. This is Tyshawn Wilson. Wilson to the 40, 2-yard pickup. Coming up for the Blue Devils there, last to get to his feet was Jason Young. So we had 12 Blue Devil seniors, Steve, who were recognized tonight. And senior recognition, they included Devon Cooper, Tucker Dean, Jaden Johnson, A.J. Marshall, James Miles, Ross White, Hunter North, Cole Plaster, Devin Polari, Austin Sellers, Talik Thomas, Larry Williams, those 12. All right. Here is 2nd down and 8. And here's Booman going to throw. Short. This one incomplete. And it was intended for Kenneth Parker. Pretty good coverage out there. Now a 3rd and long for Chancellor.
And, like I said, Culpeper's defense has recognized that Chancellor's offense is pretty limited. But they still got to honor the pass, and they still have to play sound football and don't make any silly mistakes, like a big penalty right here and give them a 1st down. So Culpeper just got to play sound defense, keep pressuring that quarterback, and like I said, they will force Chancellor here to punt.
All right, on 3rd and 8, Chancellor has it at the Culpeper 40. This is Deshaun Wilson. Wilson inside the 40. Ball is jarred out of there. It's on the ground, and what are we going to say has it?
Culpeper.
All right, well, they give the ball to Culpeper. It was a nice hit, it looked like, of the ball carrier. I believe it was Dwayne Stewart. He lost it, and here's a turnover to the Blue Devils, and really now two key plays. One, you have the block punt return for a touchdown by Tucker Dean, and now you have a fumble.
So, anyway, So now Culpeper takes over that fumble mark and going to start right now in midfield. Got pretty good field position there.
Yep, Culpeper starts on offense here from its own 43. 4:57 to play first quarter. Back to the run they go, and nowhere goes Jakari Edwards as he drew a host of white jerseys out there at the 40-yard line. Actually lose about 3 yards on the play. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. Here is 2nd and 12. Ball at the 40. Penalty flag down as at the inception of this play, and will likely work against the Blue Devils, Steve.
Yep, when the official stopped it right there, it's going to be against the Blue Devils. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be, what we're going to say, what the call is here. It's going to be, the officials aren't offsides against Chancellor. That's going to pick up that lost yardage on the carry and then now make it second down and
I'll do it.
7.
So you thought it might be working against Culpeper, but actually works against Chancellor. And so rather than, like you say, at second long, this makes it a little more doable here at 2nd and 7 from the 46. Back to the run. Here's a penalty flag coming in late, and that was Jakari Edwards stopped shy of midfield.
And Mark, that's usually going to indicate holding somewhere, so let's see what the officials say here.
Flag as well on the play.
As they sort this one out, we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. So a holding penalty against the Blue Devils pushes the ball back to the 38-yard line. John, if you'll move left there. There we go. Here we go. Here's Bennett Sutherland trying to set up the screen, incomplete. Devin Polari would have been the intended receiver, and the Chancellor defender was Dwayne Stewart. Now we've got a 3rd and long, Steve, to the tune of about 3rd and 14 or 15, and so Blue Devils need a big play here.
Well, Mark, it's a good thing that pass was not completed because it would have been offensive lineman downfield because Polari was way behind, and he got bottled up a little bit in traffic, so that didn't work out very well for the Blue Devils here.
Well, 3:40 to play in the first. 6-0 our score. The lone touchdown scored by Tucker Dean on a block punt. Now on 3rd and long, Bennett Sutherland airs it out there this side for Cole Plaster. Takes a big hit shy of midfield and well shy of a Blue Devil first down.
It's going to be, now the decision is Culpeper going to go for it?
Well, and when you go for it, typically you're going for it on the opponent's side of midfield. It changes things quite a bit when you're on your side of it, doesn't it?
It sure does. So we'll see.
4th down and 6. They have the ball now at the 47-yard line, and the Blue Devils do line up to go for it here. And, of course, if they are able to draw Chancellor off sides again, then you're going to be looking at a 4th and 1 rather than a 4th and 6. That may be the plan. Garrett Damewood is the man in motion. Here's a snap. It's to Devin Polari and a quick kick. Well, Polari was in there, and I don't think Chancellor was prepared for this one. This takes a nice Blue Devil roll, and they're going to down it just inside the 10-yard line, Steve. And that was really the sort of play you've been sort of calling for at different points in this season.
Yeah, it works. I mean, I don't understand why teams don't use it more, especially right there. They're thinking you're going, they have no one back there, just get a good hanging, nice, soft punt down and let it roll. And now, all of a sudden, you got Chancellor backed up under their own 10-yard line.
Well, you have a team backed up whose offense is really struggling this year too, and so that makes it doubly different for Chancellor. We mentioned that, you know, they're 0-7. Steve, they've got a new coach. I think he came over from, I think the school he was at before he went to, was it Stafford? The current coach, it's Sullivan.
Yeah.
And then they've struggled, but as you pointed out, they're young, and that's just, well, that's the way it is sometimes. Here's Booman handing off to his teammate there, but we have a whistle and stoppage of this one. 2:30 to play here in this first quarter. And this
Flag on the play,
false start
on the
penalty
Chargers. Brings up a first down to 15.
works against Chancellor and push them back 5 yards to the 5-yard line.
Now we're going to see, again, Steve Culpeper, I would like for him to get real aggressive here, Mark, and try to, you know, really go after the quarterback. But, again, you know, now they've got some fast backs, but, again, Culpeper was keeping them pretty much bottled up.
5-yard penalty, and it brings up a 1st and 15 now for Chancellor. In dangerous position here. Here comes the pressure. Here is the handoff, and the Blue Devils do a nice job of tackling for a loss. The ball carrier, Dwayne Stewart. Looks like Jakari Edwards came away with it. He wanted to get in the end zone to join his teammate Tucker Dean,
He
Steve.
sure did, but they called it down.
Yeah.
It says down on downs.
And now that's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 15 here. Clock runs. We're under 2 minutes to play here at Broman Field. Our score, Culpeper 6, Chancellor nothing. Here's an opportunity for this Blue Devil defense to keep Chancellor bottled up deep in their own territory. On 2nd and 15, Aiden Booman fakes, throws. Receiver dropped it at the 5-yard line. They'll rule it incomplete. Took off without it. That was jersey number 1. That belongs to Jalen Miller. And so things simply are not going Chancellor's way, and yet they're only down by 6 points at this juncture, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, really, they're lucky to be only down 6, but Culpeper, they're having a little bit of miscues. They know they got them pretty well. They can beat them up front, and it's just interesting to see how Culpeper's reacting to what Chancellor's doing, but don't play down to their level. Culpeper needs to attack.
All right, here on 3rd down and about 15. Booman airs it out, center of the field. This one is picked off by A.J. Marshall at the 35-yard line. Here's Marshall on the return. Picks up a couple of blocks, and Marshall fighting his way down to near the goal line, and is he in? No. He is. A.J. Marshall from 35 yards on a pick 6 for the Blue Devils, Steve.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. A.J. Marshall. Mark, how far?
I think 35 unofficially. That's about where he caught it, I thought. And, you know, when Booman slung the ball, I mean, it was one of those passes that it looked like A.J. Marshall was the receiver. He was just running in stride with it, caught it, and then returned it. Had a couple key blocks, and maybe that's the reason a bad block, he was able to get down for the touchdown.
Well, they're not saying they took the points off, Mark.
They didn't take the points off?
They did.
No.
They did.
Well, they've still got 12-0 on the scoreboard.
There's a penalty.
Right. But would it be after the play?
Still maintains possession of the football.
Yeah, 6-0.
Oh, they did take the points off. Okay.
Yeah, it looked like it was a holding call or blocking the back.
And you know what? I doubt that A.J. Marshall will hold that against his teammates, but like Tucker Dean, he was recognized before the game, and, well, you know, he may get another chance here, particularly offensively. Plays on both sides of the football, of course. All right, now, Culpeper back on offense. Going to start this one from the Chancellor, 34. Back to the run. Devin Polari, ball carrier, doing a nice job of sidestepping one defender. Got inside the 30. Shy of the 25. They'll mark it at the 28. Give him 6 yards on the play. Call it 2nd and 4 as we approach the last minute here of this first quarter. 6-0 Culpeper. So it would have been 12-0, Steve, with what we thought was a pick 6 by A.J. Marshall. Then they brought it back for a holding penalty.
Yeah, they did, and it was too bad for the Blue Devils because that was a good return by A.J. Marshall. And I know he wanted to have that one, and it was called back. But now Culpeper can erase that memory if they score here.
Well, Bennett Sutherland's back there. He's got Devin Polari on his left. Jakari Edwards, or make that Devon Cooper on his right. They go to Polari. Polari fighting for yards, and they stop him shy of the 25-yard line. I'll mark it the 26. They'll give him 2. They'll bring up 3rd and 2 here. And the final 15 seconds now tick off the clock here at Broman Field. We may or may not get another play in before the expiration of this first quarter.
And it doesn't look like
I think the Blue Devils will be content to let this quarter expire. And they do. So we've played one here at Broman Field where our score is Blue Devils 6, Chargers nothing. We'll take a break and come back for the start of the second quarter right after this. Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast and the start of the second quarter here at Broman Field, which sees Culpeper on offense, 3rd down, about 3 at the Chancellor 27-yard line. As we begin this second quarter, our score is Culpeper 6, Chancellor nothing. If you're just now tuning in, that touchdown came courtesy of Tucker Dean on a blocked Chancellor punt in the first quarter, and the point after was no good. And that's all the scoring we've had so far. Here is Devon Cooper running. Good yardage and likely a first down for the Blue Devils. And Devon Cooper was one of those 12 seniors recognized, Steve. They're going to, it's true every year, for most teams, you're going to lose a lot of good players to graduation. That's just the way it is.
That's high school football. And, you can have a great team one year, and then in the next year, you're starting all over again. And I think that's what Chancellor's undergoing right now, because this doesn't look like a typical Chancellor team.
All right, now, new set of downs for the Blue Devils. They have it 1st and 10 at the Chargers' 22-yard line. Bennett Sutherland, your quarterback. Devin Polari is back there with him. Devon Cooper also in the backfield. A.J. Marshall, receiver, top of your screen. And to the left, they're going to have, I believe, Garrett make that Cole Plaster in the slot. And then David Holland was wide left, and now he switches position. He goes top of your screen with A.J. Marshall down to the left here. And now it may have some confusion, and it looks like we'll have a timeout called.
Yeah, I think Chancellor was confused. They had to send a player off on an equipment issue, and then Culpeper wasn't getting set in the right formation. Good call, good timeout.
Well, and our timeout sponsor this season is something that you should know about, Steve. It's UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. UVAcreditunion.org. And here we are in the second quarter, 6-0 Blue Devils, and This broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. So K&M across from Eastern View High School, that reminds us, Eastern View in action tonight. Also, Steve, playing at home to Portland.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we get an update on that game around halftime, see what the score is. But, yeah, Eastern View is in a semi-must game. But, yeah, they want to take care of business with Cortland and go in with only 2 losses in the regular season.
Here's Sutherland. He's throwing. He's got a receiver out there. This one's caught. That cold Plaster. 22-yard touchdown pass from Sutherland to Plaster.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Plaster with a 22-yard touchdown catch. Good play. Very well executed, Mark.
And Steve, 40 seconds into the second quarter, and it makes it 12-0. And I suspect they would likely go for 2 here.
Yeah, I would think they would to put it up 14, make it a definite 2-score game. And so that was a beautiful throw, Mark. Beautiful catch. Plaster ran a good route, wide open, good catch.
And so, and of course, and he's a senior this year too. So the 2 touchdowns have been scored by seniors so far. The first one by Tucker Dean, and now Cole Plaster. A.J. Marshall had one brought back for a penalty. And now they're on for the 2-point try here, with Devin Polari likely to take the snap. And he does. Polari gets behind the wall of blockers and pushes himself into the end zone. So Polari now converts the 2-point try. And isn't that like the one of the best chances you have to score is just to let Polari go straight ahead with it?
Yeah, and look how big your offensive line is compared. Just get right behind those road graders and just say, hey, I'm coming right behind you. Just keep down, keep pad level, keep feet moving, and that's exactly what Polari did. He's a tough guy to bring down. So now you got a 14-point lead, and now you want to go up again, see what Culpeper can do here on defense, see if they can get another turnover.
All right. Well, our broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. That's hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. Well, I'm Mark O'Connell, and joined as always with the occasional exception by Steve Peacock and Johnny Krawchuk up top behind the camera. Nicole Wooten back in the studio of the Culpeper Media Network, and we're proud to bring you all the exciting action of high school football. In my view, Steve, there's not much better in terms of not only do you get football, but you still sort of get that sense of wholesomeness to it.
You sure do. And again, this is a good game for Culpeper to be playing and work on things because, like I said in the pregame, they win. They're in the playoffs. It's just going to be depend on where seeding's going to be.
All right, short kick fielded successfully at the 35-yard line by the Chancellor return man there.
Recovered by
number 8. That is John Thompson. Now Chancellor's offense, which has struggled this season, and tonight back onto the field for the 3rd time, trailing 14-0, with 11:18 to go here in this second quarter. And Steve, this game was scheduled to be the last game of the regular season for the Blue Devils, but strange things happen during the season, and so one of the things that's happened is we had the postponement with the King George game. That's back on Culpeper's schedule for November 1st, which would be next Tuesday.
So, and then, I don't know how Coach Ford, it depends on what the VHSL says. If it can get, have to play because of a rating situation with the points, they're going to have to play it. And if it means a big change in the district standings, they're going to have to play it. But I know Coach Ford, if those don't come up, then I would think they'll just, consider it a no contest, and both teams walk away and get in with their points. And here's where I think the problem's going to run, because King George is sitting in 3rd place, like in the 4B, Region 4B playoffs. They've got ahead of them Verina, which is defending Group 4 state champions, and Dinwiddie. And they get a lot of points because they play these, Division 5 and 6 schools in Richmond. So, again, if one of those teams loses, tonight, then King George could slide into second with a win if they play Culpeper.
Well, I think we have some movement there in that backfield. In the play before, we had the pass completion
Flag on the play.
to Jalen Miller and a Chancellor first down. And with this 5-yard penalty, it'll make it 1st and 15 for Chancellor now at its own 40. 1st and 15 from there. Yeah, so the playoffs, I mean, the waters can be very muddy for a while. They don't clear up until all the games are played.
Well, after next week. So everything after November 4th, then it'll be decided. But right now, like I said, Culpeper just wanted to play sound defense here and see if they can get the ball back in the offense and get it in the end zone.
All right, here's Booman handing off. This is Tyshawn Wilson. And Wilson does get the edge, and then he picks up some positive yardage before he's forced out of bounds shy of midfield at about the 47. So he picked up 7 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for Chancellor. So, Steve, if you're the Chancellor Chargers, I mean, you want to put together some sequence here of some offensive plays where you can move the sticks at least a couple times and give your offense reason to believe in itself.
I agree, Mark. And, as I said, it'd be great if this young team was probably searching for a victory. Culpeper is not going to allow that to happen right now. But again, they're still dangerous. They got to run it back and get to that edge, and they got to, like I said, they got to be able to block.
Well, and this one, Dwayne Stewart not able to go anywhere because Jakari Edwards was in the backfield waiting for him, Steve, and he slung him down for a loss all the way back to the 42. A loss of 6 yards brings up 3rd and 14. And so when you make a play like that, as did Jakari Edwards, you really give your defense an ideal situation when you put your opponent in a 3rd and long.
Right, you put them in a vice grip, basically. And what they're doing is that they're just saying, hey, we're here, we're going to come in and we're going to play hard. And right now, it's just, you just look at Chancellor, you can just tell, like I said, they're just a young team, and Culpeper just taking advantage.
Here is 3rd down and 12 for Chancellor. Aiden Booman going to throw it over the middle of the field, and this one nearly picked off by Devin Polari, and the intended receiver was Kenneth Parker. Another 4th down, and we'll see the Chancellor punting team here in just a moment. And we'll see who drops back for the Blue Devils. So one of the things we've seen tonight in this game, and you use it strategically, or tactically rather, is the quick kick we saw to Devin Polari, and it pinned them back, Chancellor. And so really Culpeper has applied a lot of pressure to this Chancellor team early on tonight.
Sure have, Mark, and a quick kick worked out for the Blue Devils too.
Here is the punt. This one smothered. Again, I think Devin Polari may have gotten that one, the punter back there, and they're going to try to advance it here. And it was Culpeper's number 22, J.Q. Williams, returning it. Oh, yeah, the punter there, Steve, Dwayne Stewart, he never had a chance. They just smothered that kick.
Polari right there smothered it. And I at first I said, I thought the punter got it away, and we knocked the punter down. That's going to be roughing. But no, Polari had it smothered, and good job by him. He was just right in on it before, the punter, like you said, didn't have a chance. And that's, like I said, taking advantage of your personnel and what they have in there. And it's a good play call by Coach Ford and the staff. Punt, block, go for it.
And Steve, if they've got now, Culpeper has 2 block punts. That means that they're beating Chancellor off that line of scrimmage and able to get back there deep to put this kind of pressure on the punter.
They are.
All right. Culpeper has it now at the Chancellor 14. Bennett Sutherland going to throw. For the end zone, going up for it was A.J. Marshall, and the Chargers double team coverage out there between Jalen Miller and Tyshawn Wilson.
Flag on the play.
And there is a flag on the play, and A.J. Marshall appears to be shaken up.
Yeah, he looks like he fell hard, but again, it's going to be pass interference against Chancellor. The defensive back didn't turn around and find the football and just kind of basically face guarded, but it looked like maybe the Culpeper, was it Marshall?
Yes, A.J. Marshall.
I think he came down wrong, and he's, like I said, he's hurting. We'll see hope he's not hurt too bad.
9:07 to play here in the second quarter. Our score 14-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. And why don't we take a break and come back after A.J. Marshall has recovered, and we're ready to resume action. Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son, 825-3530. Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast, and you see A.J. Marshall there with his helmet off, number 24, back to his feet. Will go to the sideline, at least for one play, and after that incomplete pass, it brings up second down and 10 for the Blue Devils from the Chargers' 14.
Yeah, because it was interference, so Culpeper takes the penalty.
Well, my mistake then. There was that penalty. You
Yep.
mentioned the interference, and so looks like they now have it at the 4.
And who do you think we're going to call right now? Devin Polari.
Well, but
He's not in there.
Hey, I don't see him in there. I see Jakari Edwards,
Yep.
Devon Cooper, Bennett Sutherland. And we'll call it the 4 here. Here's Bennett Sutherland. Here's Jakari Edwards. Makes the cut and stopped down at about the 1 yard line as
Edwards with the carry.
Jalen Miller of Chancellor helps make the tackle there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from that spot.
And see, right there, that's what I'm talking about. Jakari Edwards is a good runner, but then when he makes his cut, he stands straight up and allows the defenders to stand you up. You don't have any momentum going forward to fall and get those tough yards. He'll learn. He's a junior, but he needs to get lower.
Well, Steve, I think that they may have followed your cue because I see Devin Polari in there, number 4, at this point where they have it second, I believe 2nd and goal now from the 3. Sutherland under center. Polari, the ball running back, and dives into the end zone for the score.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Polari from 3 yards out, diving in the end zone for a touchdown.
Makes it 20-0 with 8:21 to play here in this second quarter. Well, I've mentioned R.J. Uribe's name tonight, but typically he wears jersey number 1. Charles Holland wears jersey number 9, and he's on there to kick this point after. So I probably have mistakenly said Uribe's name rather than Holland, but I did not know Uribe was not kicking tonight. This kick, no good. And Holland's a good athlete, but it's hard to replace a true kicker like R.J. Uribe.
Right, and Uribe might be hurt.
Good.
I'm trying to find him on the sideline. I don't see.
20-0.
Yeah, there he is. He's on the sideline, and he's hurt. And he's not suited up. So. That's
Have you been able to spot him?
Yep,
There he
we
is,
did,
yeah. Number 1, R.J. Uribe, not in the lineup. But now we've seen him play other positions than kicker, haven't we?
We've seen him play safety, but he's better kicker. I mean, he was helping the Blue Devils. I mean, you could count on him for extra points and a field goal from inside, the 25-yard line and in. And it's going to hurt. Hopefully they can get him back in time for the playoffs. But it looks like right now, and Mark, I want to go back again on the playoff situation about King George. See, the other thing is King George going to have the advantage because being Culpeper being a Division III and King George a Division IV, there's not going to be a lot of points there. So it comes down to mathematics. After these games, this week, they'll put it together and say, hey, if we win, can we get it? Can we move up or we move down? I think that's going to determine whether Culpeper plays King George on Tuesday night.
All right, well said. Well, Charles Holland has teed it up for the Blue Devils, filling in for R.J. Uribe. As Steve pointed out, we just had a look at him a moment ago. Uribe not suited up for tonight's game. All right, here is Holland's kick. End over end, short, taken, on the run at the 20-yard line. And on the return, it's Dwayne Stewart. He got across the 30, and they drop him at about the 32. So average field position now for Chancellor. But, Steve, if you're the Chancellor Chargers, you're down 20-0, and You still have 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the second quarter. You got to get something going offensively, or it's just going to be a long night for this team.
It sure is. And, I'd like to see Culpeper get another touchdown. Let's take a look at this Caleb Green, who played last week for Culpeper and did an admirable job, I understand, in the ball game. And so we might be able to see he's the backup. He's only a sophomore. We might be able to see him tonight, too.
And Sutherland coming in after having been out.
Yep.
So that would be helpful if they can get that sort of playing time in, you think. Here's a awkward exchange between quarterback and running back, but Tyshawn Wilson does hang on for the Chargers, and when it's all said and done, no gain on the play.
Right now, Culpeper's just going to pin their ears back, Mark. And on defense, they know they're dominating both sides of the line of scrimmage, and Chancellor isn't doing anything fancy on offense because they're so limited in their skill players. Basically, they're only looking at a few pass plays and some pitches.
Mm-hmm. Second down and 10 now for Chancellor from its own 32. Aiden Booman is the quarterback. Chancellor looks a little unsure of itself. Could use a big play here. As a running back here, Tyshawn Wilson breaks a couple of tackles. Comes up with a pretty good looking run. He got across the 45 down to about the 46, 47. New set of downs for Chancellor, and that was probably their best looking play so far.
It was, but it's also poor tackling by the Blue Devils. He's a little running back, but he's stronger than he looks. And I just get so frustrated when I see players get away from the fundamentals and just think they're going to push or hit a player and he's going to go down. You got to wrap him up and bring him down.
Well said. All right, 1st and 10. Chargers at their own 46. They trail 20-0 here with 7 minutes to go and the clock moving. Ball carrier, Dwayne Stewart. And Stewart stopped shy of midfield. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. And Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right, here it is. Second down, 7 from the 49-yard line. And again, Stewart, the ball carrier. Dwayne Stewart, not much doing there. Line of scrimmage was a 49. They get to the Culpeper 48.
Big third down play here for the Devils. I think, Chancellor might go for it on 2, being down 20-0 if they don't get this third down conversion. If they have to get a 4th, they might go here on 2 plays. But we'll see. And what I would like to see the defense is that, basically take control of that offensive line, let your linebackers do the work, and let them clean up and make good, clean tackles.
Okay, here on 3rd and 4 for Chancellor. Culpeper territory at the 49. Booman's going to swing it out near side. This one incomplete. Closing quickly was Talik Thomas on the intended receiver there, number 8. That's John Thompson, and another 4th down for Chancellor.
And Mark, I'm looking at number 8. If he weighs $130, I swear, he looks like one of the wrestlers, like 125 or 112.
Well, and I think you're right. I wanted to point out how well some of these guys for the Blue Devils are playing up front. Number 74 out there, Jaden Johnson, one of the seniors. And, of course, Tucker Dean, Larry Williams, all 3 of those guys seniors. And here's a 4th down.
It looks like they're going to line up in punt formation.
It's a bad snap, but a lucky bounce. Punter gets it off. This one rolling, and this one picked up near the 20-yard line. And returning it out to the 30, it looks like for Culpeper, Steve, that was it Griffin Tanner, number 8?
Number 8, looks like from here, Mark.
Chargers punt on the play.
And, if Culpeper was paying a little bit more better.
Steve, my mistake. That was number 6, Jakari Edwards. But the 6 looked like an 8 to me up here. Tricky when that jersey kind of crumples together, doesn't it?
It sure does. And, what I was getting ready to say, Culpeper was caught a little bit napping at the switch right there because they didn't have punt rush on or punt block, and the punter dropped the ball, and he had all day to pick it up and punt it. Whereas if we'd been crashing in, we would have got another one blocked.
Yeah, and so if you're just tuning in, our score 20-0. Some of the highlights of this game, I think, really have to include those 2 block punts by the Blue Devils. One return, that first one returned for a touchdown. Here's Devin Polari off tackle, left side, into secondary, gets running room, but he might have been advanced with the help of a bad block. We'll see the call. We saw the penalty come in.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to bringing this back. It's going to be a block in the back or hold. We'll see what the.
Going to take away a nice run by Devin Polari. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. All right.
And, Mark, I was getting ready to say this. Polari came into this game, in the top 10 in rushing with Freeland Star. He's got 550 yards. He ripped off almost 40 there, but for naught comes back. Holding penalty.
All right, and they push it back to the 25-yard line where it is, 1st and 16. Now, back to the run they go. Devon Cooper, ball is loose, picked up by Stewart of Chancellor. So the Chargers force a turnover, and Stewart returns it to the Culpeper 15.
I think he just took it away, Mark, from him.
Did he?
I didn't see the ball hit the ground. And so he just, Cooper didn't secure the ball very well, and, they just took it right away from him.
Stewart said, I'll take that.
Yep.
And returned it to what actually is the 16. So here's some life and some opportunity for a Chancellor offense that has its best field position of the game, Steve, at the Culpeper 16-yard line with 4:47 to play in the second quarter and trailing 20-0.
Yeah, this is going to be, now you're going to want to ask your defense to stand up right here because they don't want to let Chancellor get any kind of hint of momentum going in here in the late stages here in the second quarter going into halftime. So if the defense, let's see where they can dial it up, and I'd be putting pressure on that quarterback.
And Tyshawn Wilson there, number 2, alongside the quarterback Aiden Booman, has really been a bright spot for this Chancellor team. Here's Polari coming in. Polari makes a tackle. The ball is loose. Forced a fumble. And then Chancellor's number 77, Tyler Livingstone, bounces on it to save the day for Chancellor. Otherwise, they would have just squandered a golden opportunity.
And Mark, you got to say, what a hard-nosed, good football playing Devin Polari is. He just plays all out. He came right in there, and he wasn't even blocked. And he disrupted that play. And that's what I'm talking about. The Blue Devils, I want them to get real stingy right now in defense. Preserve that shutout.
Well, it's sort of likely a safe assumption that seniors like Devin Polari are going to play pretty inspired here tonight, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Here's Booman. Ball loose, and I believe Larry Williams has pounced on it for the Blue Devils. He has. They were trying to get it Aiden Booman, was trying to hand it off to Tyshawn Wilson, but again, problems on the exchange, and now Chancellor Steve gives the ball right back to Culpeper, and they have just lost what would have been an excellent opportunity for this Chancellor football team.
And that was just a poor handoff exchange, and Mark, like I said, this is not a typical well-coached Chancellor team. They're just, like I said, they are very, very young, and it's their inexperience is showing right here.
Yeah, some really awkward exchanges, and of course they've given up the 2 block punts. And here is Culpeper going back to the run. Jakari Edwards looking for some running room. He creates some, and he got across the 25 as a penalty flag comes in at the end of this play.
Well, I think we're going to have a face mask against Chancellor, but we're going to have a hold against Culpeper. I think it's going to be offsetting right here. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be. Let's check and see what it is here.
I thought he got a face mask too. That's when the second flag came out, but we'll see.
All right, here comes the call. Man in the white hat says holding against Culpeper.
All right.
So we don't have an offsetting penalty, nothing against Chancellor. So they walk this one off, and they have spotted it at the 9. Well, the line of scrimmage was at 21. Now it's all the way back to the 9.
Well, Jakari Edwards came in and grabbed his face mask. He said, and that's when I thought that back ref threw the flag because he was awful late then because it was already thrown for holding by the head ref.
Sutherland now under center. Polari, the fullback. Jakari Edwards lined up in that tailback position. And whistles blow, and the officials have stopped the play. Likely to, is it a penalty flag or a reset?
It's a 5 yards against offsides on Chancellor.
Okay. Mark it off 5 yards to the Chancellor 14, where it will be first, and it looks like about 16 from there. Sutherland under center. Here's the pitch. Jakari Edwards trying to get to the outside, and they string this one along pretty nicely and stop him near the line of scrimmage.
Exactly, and again now brings up, long third down here to see if Culpeper can convert on this. They call it timeout, Mark.
Timeout, Culpeper.
Well, let's talk about this in this timeout that we have, Steve. You look at this first half and how it's being played out, and you contrast that with, regardless of what they do about the King George game, where a win tonight might put them in the playoff mix. We know that the region will take the top 8 teams, and coming into tonight's game, Culpeper in that 7th spot, with Coach Ford said Meridian sort of biting at its heels, trying to get in there as well, probably occupying the 8th spot and would like to move up one. And of course, a win here tonight by Culpeper would certainly ensure, I think, at least that 7th seed spot.
I agree with you, Mark. And Meridian, for fans that don't know, is the old George Mason high school. They used to be a single A school in Falls Church for a long, long time, and now they moved up to double A, and of course the name was changed. But again, Culpeper can't be worried about other teams. They just got to focus on today's, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job, and just don't get cute with the football here. Just play run your basic offense and work on your fundamentals so you can be ready in the first round of the playoffs on November the 11th.
All right, here is 2nd and 16 now. Bennett Sutherland, here comes the pressure, throws it, and was trying to set up a screen out there to Devin Polari, and all over it was the cover guy, Angel Villatoro, number 15.
Yeah, but it's a good play there by Chancellor. They smelled it out from the get-go. And again, it's uncharacteristic that Devin would drop that ball, but it's pretty good he did drop it because it would have been for a loss. So now they got a long third down here conversion, see what they can do.
Devin Polari comes to the sideline. And this is 3rd and 14. Bennett Sutherland back there in the gun. Jakari Edwards on his right. They send 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. And they load it up here on this left side. They fake it, or give it rather, to Jakari Edwards, and he goes nowhere as Dwayne Stewart makes the tackle for Chancellor, and we will see the Culpeper punting team coming on now.
And Mark, I was kind of hoping they would throw it. It looks like they did the plaster down here, and earlier, because I think they can get those passes if Sutherland's a good time. They can get by those defensive backs, and I thought that's where they're going to go instead of that handoff.
So on 4th down and 16 from the 14-yard line, Charles Holland is in there. Or actually, Devin Polari is in there with the count. Now he backs up for the quick kick. This is the 2nd one. This takes a friendly hop there to Tyshawn Wilson. Wilson breaking tackles on his feet as Devin Polari strips the ball from him, and the Blue Devils recover it, and that's courtesy of number 58, Ross White. And how about that? That was a nice return, but it was Devin Polari, Steve, that forced that fumble, and then Ross White recovered it for the Blue Devils.
Mark, what a football player Devin Polari is. He saw the guy beat a little bit, and then next thing you know, and why are they bringing in the chains? Oh, they're moving the chains. But, again, I thought he was going to break free and get in the end zone when Polari just came from behind, punched the ball right out of them. Good play.
And look at the turnaround. So the Blue Devils had 4th and 16, a quick kick by Polari. On the return, Polari strips the ball, and Blue Devils get a new set of downs, but they start from the 10. So rather than 4th and 16 from the 14, it's 1st and 10 from the 10.
And I'd take a shot here if I was Culpeper. Why not?
Sutherland back there. They keep it on the ground. And this is J.Q. Williams, or McWilliams rather. J.Q. Williams rather. His first carry of the night.
We got Polari on the sideline. He's well deserved. He's taking a rest. But again, I would take a shot here, Mark. With minute 41 to go, you know Bennett can put it out there. You got good receivers, and I think they can get a step here on the defensive backs. And let's see what the defense. Basically, they're really playing man, and with basically that one safety. I mean, this is. To me, I'd be lining it tight up in tight and taking that safety out of the play, and then you got man up one-on-one down on the sideline.
2nd and 7 from the 13. Here's Sutherland. Moves to his left, looks downfield. Here comes the pressure. He signals his players downfield. He's going to air it out. He's got Cole Plaster just shy of midfield, and now it's a foot race as the 3 Chargers defensive backs converge on Cole near the 30-yard line. Well, what did you just say? Air it out, go for it, and they did. Yep. Are you hooked up to their play calling up here, Steve?
I just saw he was being chased. He got hammered after he threw the ball, but he showed off his arm strength right there, and what a play by Cole Plaster.
Well, and Bennett Sutherland, he rolled to his left. He knew what he wanted to do. He had his eyes on Plaster, and he was actually sort of directing him downfield like to say, I'm going to air this out, and you're going to come up and run up under it.
And I knew I could see it right here. It was good recognition when I saw their defense set up. There was all in man, and then that safety walked up and to take away Holland, I think, was lined up as a tight end. And next thing you know, Sutherland rolling out to his left, kind of had to throw across his body a little bit, but there was Plaster wide open, had 2 steps on a defensive back with Chancellor.
Nicely conceived and executed. 58 yards on the play by the Blue Devils, and they now have it 1st and 10 at the Chancellor 29-yard line. All right, let's check the clock. You got a minute 3 to play in the second quarter, and Steve, the Blue Devils have, let's take a look at the timeouts. Looks like they have 1 remaining. And Chancellor has 2, but Chancellor's in some trouble here as the Blue Devils in striking range, still with a minute to play, and 2 timeouts, or 1 timeout rather.
All right, the clock's running because they started.
Cole Plaster checks back into the game, and they're going to send him to the right along with 2 other receivers, and then Holland is wide left. Here is Sutherland, this time rolling to his right, now reversing direction. Picks up some blocking, and there is Sutherland loose in the secondary and upended at the 5-yard line by Tyshawn Wilson, who saved a touchdown at least for the moment. Clock down to 33 seconds.
Well, it's got to wait. It's still got to be stopped until they set the chains.
Sutherland downs it to stop the clock.
And we got a flag on the play now, too. And we'll see what's. They're trying to spike it, and they're dead ball. Too many men, illegal substitution. Against Culpeper.
And I think that might be the product of trying to do too much too quickly, don't you?
Yep. But, I mean, again, I'm going to knock him back, 5 yards? So, but the officials, they made him start. The chains hadn't even reset yet. They're still running down the field. And the officials said run the clock.
All right. It is going to be 1st and goal now from the 10-yard line with 31 seconds. Clock stopped here in the second. Bennett Sutherland stepping up, throwing as he was sit as he threw it, all intended for Cole Plaster. That will stop the clock on an incomplete pass.
And I didn't understand why the ref started the clock after the timeout. They should have started the clock when the ball was snapped.
The ball was snapped, yeah.
But the referee didn't. He singled up here to start the clock, and that ran off about 20 seconds. I was I was questioning that. I don't know why they did that.
And in this context of where they are, field position, and the time on the clock, that's actually some major time.
Exactly.
So, well, Bennett Sutherland back there in the gun with Jakari Edwards on his right. They've got 2nd and 10 here. 2nd and goal from the 10. All right, here's Sutherland. He's got some pressure. He throws it. This one incomplete. And looked like it was nearly picked off there by Justin Bird, or Justice Bird, rather. And now a 3rd and goal from the 10.
Yeah, it was, and it looks like Sutherland's hurt. He got a hand hit on that play. But, again, he was throwing off his back foot, trying to jump throw it. Couldn't put any velocity. He's lucky, like you said, he didn't get it intercepted. And if that interception went, it could have been one taking 90 yards to the house because there was nobody around him. So, well, like I said, now you got
3rd down and goal from the 10, and you've got Devin Polari back there alongside Sutherland, and behind Sutherland is Jakari Edwards. Here's Sutherland, option, and he tried to get it out to Jakari Edwards. Edwards picks it up. This is considered a lateral, isn't it?
Yep.
And he got down to about the 5, it looks like, and it'll bring up 4th and goal from there.
Yep, there was. They're lucky again on that play too, Mark. It was kind of poorly designed, and Chancellor defended it right because they rushed and their defensive end was crashing down, and Sutherland had to do something with it quick. He did throw a lateral, and good thing for Williams being able to pick it up because he didn't catch it. But Chancellor wouldn't. There was no defender real close by. Culpeper got away with one right there.
Well, and they call their last timeout, and why wouldn't you? Because you've got 10.6 seconds showing on the clock. You've got a 4th and goal from the 4-yard line, and really this is the play where you need to score, obviously.
Right.
And you really don't have the luxury of sending in a field goal unit.
Yeah, you would if you had a Uribe out there, but he's hurt, so you really don't have a kicker that's going to be able to split those uprights. So now you've gotten one play here to get in the end zone, Mark, on 4th down.
Who do you go to? I'm guessing Polari.
Polari, you got how many yards?
You need 4.
I get behind your biggest offensive line, road grade, and give it to Polari and just run as hard as you can.
Well, let's see what the Blue Devils do. Will they do what we're thinking, or do something totally different? Well, Polari's going to block, and Sutherland's going to roll left. Sutherland's going to fake pump, or pump fake, rather, and get into the end zone.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Bennett Sutherland, 4 yards out, just stuck it inside that pylon for a touchdown.
Makes it 26-0. 2.5 seconds showing, and now looks like Culpeper will go for the point after with Charles Holland out there, unless they decide to go for 2.
I think they'll go for 2. Because Holland's coming off.
Well, he's actually in there, but he's not lining up as the kicker. Number 9 is Charles Holland. He's in there as a possible receiver. Devin Polari in the backfield. Polari going to keep it for the 2-point try. Polari fighting and falling into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. 28-0. With 2.5 seconds remaining in this first half.
And that's what Culpeper had to do, Mark. And they took advantage of Chancellor a little bit, and then they had a couple good plays, and now knocked it in the end zone.
All right, 28-0 is our score, and 2.5 seconds remaining. We mentioned that this was supposed to be the last game of the regular season for both Culpeper and Eastern View. And Eastern View's game against Cortland tonight at Cyclone Stadium is the last game for Eastern View, but Blue Devils possibly have, well, I know that King George is on the schedule for November 1st, and Steve, you think it could be maybe tentative if it's serves no purpose for the postseason.
Right, and and that's all going to have to be decided between both schools and the Virginia High School League.
Right.
And I think basically if it's not going to have a big thing with points and rating, power points, because I don't think King George wants to play either and going to turn around and play on next Friday and close out their regular season. And I just think it's going to be. We'll see how it pans out.
And I can imagine that King George would benefit from playing that game. Would you?
No.
Keep this one on the ground, and these final seconds have ticked off on this return. All right, halfway through this one.
We got a field goal. We got a penalty here.
Oh,
late.
we have this one here at the end.
Yeah, we can't end on a penalty. See what the call is.
Flag on the play.
And he came in late. Was it? I don't know what the call made. Somebody said something? I don't know. I didn't see any. Could have gone out of bounds and then come back into play without touching the football. You can't do that. That's illegal participation. Let's see what the call is. They're
Taking some time to sort it out here.
no, they're going to call Chancellor. It might be against Culpeper. Because I thought maybe it might be against Chancellor because he did run out of bounds and then came back in, but he was pushed out of bounds. And I think they're going to say maybe it was a late hit on Culpeper. We'll see what the call's going to be.
If it is a late hit against Culpeper, at what point do they assess it?
Right here, right now, because you can't end on a defensive penalty.
But you don't have any time left on the clock. Dead ball.
Illegal. Looks like dead ball, legal participation, maybe. Well,
Flag is on the Blue Devils.
So it would seem to me then that Chancellor has gone back the lineup on offense for one play here.
one play, and Culpeper just don't let anybody get behind you. Still, when he crosses the fence, it looks like illegal participation. And, it's a big one.
Well, they mark it at the 40. So Chancellor has one play to try to get it into the end zone here.
Yeah,
there's no time shown on the clock.
And it was a dead ball, but he gave the. I still haven't figured out what this call is, Mark. All I can say is illegal participation, but it's not a 15-yarder unless it was a dead ball.
Well, this should be the last play of the first half, and Booman will try to air it out. This one is broken up nicely by the Blue Devils, Cole Plaster and company. That's how the first half will end. Okay, we'll go to the break. We will come back when the third quarter is set to begin. In the meantime, keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network. You're watching Blue Devils football.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Welcome back to our broadcast at Broman Field, and we are set for the third quarter kickoff. And Charles Holland, in place of R.J. Uribe tonight, will be kicking off to start this third quarter. First half completely dominated by the Blue Devils, Steve Peacock, and of course we can go over those highlights as we have an opportunity to do that, as Chancellor desperate for some points, and as they receive this third quarter kickoff, and it's a short one, they look for a good return and maybe some new opportunities here in the second half. As a return man there, Tyshawn Wilson returns it out near the 40-yard line. All right. Well, Steve, for our viewing audience, it's fair to say that that first half was completely dominated by Culpeper.
Yeah, it was, Mark. And I'm looking over the numbers over there on Chancellor. When is the last time you've seen Chancellor have that just few football players? And like I said, I remember when Coach Oliver coached him for so long, and they were always, they didn't win everything every year, but you're in a battle when you played them. So.
And one of the things about that Chancellor team that was coached by Bob Oliver is you always had a chance to look at the wishbone.
That's right. And his second string quarterback right now at Virginia Tech, Jason Brown, played under Coach Oliver.
Chancellor goes to the run here with Tyshawn Wilson. And he got across the 40 and dove out to the 42. Pickup of 5 yards, 2nd and 5 coming up. Well, in that first half, the Blue Devils blocked 2 punts. In fact, the first one was returned for a touchdown by Tucker Dean. The point after failed. Later in the first half, we saw a quick kick by Polari, which was a good tactical move. Chancellor had 3 turnovers in that one, including an interception by A.J. Marshall, which we thought he had returned for the pick 6, only to be brought back by a penalty. Cole Plaster had a 22-yard catch for touchdown from Bennett Sutherland. Polari converted on a 2-point try after that. We had another block punt, and I'll revisit those highlights here momentarily, as Stewart is the ball carrier, and he is tackled from behind by the fellow I was just talking about, Devin Polari. Let's revisit that name, because Polari had a very good first half for this team. And, in fact, he had a 3-yard run, kick failed, and then later in the quarter, Bennett Sutherland, a 4-yard touchdown run, and Polari, another 2-point conversion. So it's been a big night for the Blue Devils, particularly Devin Polari.
Well, and he's thinking about going to Averett or Newport News Apprentice, and he would fit very well with either one of those football teams. They competed at the Division III level. Just think if Polari was the size of Brett Clatterbaugh, where he'd be going. He's just a good, hard-nosed football player.
Here's Booman rolling to his right, throwing downfield, nearly picked off as a diving A.J. Marshall tried to bring it in. And over there in the vicinity was Talik Thomas. And now we'll have 4th down, and the Chancellor punting team coming on. Dropping back as the lone safety man for the Blue Devils is number 24, A.J. Marshall.
Mark, let me get an updated score. It's at halftime. We're just coming out of half. Eastern View's playing Cortland over at Eastern View, and it's Eastern View 14, Cortland 12.
Well, 14-12 sounds like a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, we'll give you some updates as we get them.
But 28-0 is our score here early in the third quarter. Chancellor started on offense. They go 3 and out. The punt team is on. It's James Hodges. He's able to kick this one away, and the Blue Devils nearly got to another one. A.J. Marshall watches this one roll. He wisely decides to give way, and Chancellor will down it at the Culpeper 27. That's where the Blue Devils will set up on offense here for the first time in the third quarter, leading 28-0. Well, we are live this season, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. All right, 10 minutes to play here in the third. And Culpeper, it's offense on the field here for the first time in this quarter. And they go to Devin Polari, who sheds one tackler, stiff arms another one, and the tackler stayed with him, but not before Polari got across the 35 out to about the 38 and 11 yards and a first down for Culpeper.
Mark, he's like I said, it just I hate to sound like a broken record, but Polari, just give him the ball and let him feast. He's going to pick up 6-7 yards, first down carry. He's going to put you in good position. He's just going to be able to set you up with a pass from Sutherland to Plaster or to A.J. Marshall.
All right, 1st and 10. We mentioned the Holland tonight, Charles, but David's in there as well. David Holland had lined up to the left as a wide receiver. Jakari Edwards, the ball carrier, and they actually stopped him for a 1-yard loss.
And Mark, when I looked at that tackle, Edwards was getting up to run. He really didn't hit the ground, but the official blew the whistle. I mean, he was on top of the Chancellor player, not even touching the grass. He could have still going, could have kept running, but the official blew it dead. I want to ask you a question. The World Series is starting. It's the Philadelphia Phillies against the Astros. Who do you like in that?
Well, I'm slowly being pulled back into the baseball scene thanks to my stepson, who's into it, and he's a big Astros fan. And if I were to rekindle my interest in Major League Baseball, as Devin Polari here on the screen, just having a good night, Steve. Another 11-yard pickup for him. If I get pulled back into it, no, I'm a creature of habit. I'm likely to be an American leaguer again. I'd probably pull for the Astros, not knowing objectively who has the better team and who has a better chance of winning. I certainly have liked what I've seen in that Houston pitching staff.
Well, Houston's got a way better record and way better pitching. I just can't root for the Phillies. I'm sorry, so I'm going to go with the Astros.
Does it have anything to do with their location?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I sort of understand that, really. And, of course, they have a lot of rabid fans up there. Jakari Edwards, you're aware of that, straight ahead, and he picked up good yardage down to the Chancellor 45. But, they keep on pushing this thing to be settling the World Series at Christmas time.
I know. Well, in the old Veterans Stadium used to play at, they had jail court. They had jails underneath the stadium because the fans would get so rowdy, and they put them down there, and they have a magistrate down there, and
that was true. That's true in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah. They
was it Veterans Stadium?
Yep.
Yeah. Book them, Dano.
Book them.
He's not even getting out of the stadium.
See if Sutherland can book them right here
from the 45-yard line. Polari, ball carrier again, and he dragged the defender with him as he picked up 4 or 5 yards.
And again, I would just get behind your big offensive line, 77 and 74, and just go right ahead and, Jaden Johnson and, Hunter North, get right in behind him and say, clear me out a path and I'll hit that crease and I'm gone. And Devin knows he's not going to be a speed burner, but he's just a power back. He's fast enough and shifty enough to get the job done.
And this is 3rd and 2. And they call his number. And Polari answers, and hard to bring down. He got inside the 40-yard line down to the 38. Picked up 5, needed 2. New set of downs for the Blue Devils.
And again, he just overpowers you and just comes in and, lowers his head down. I like how he runs. He runs at pad level, and he's running right between the tackles. But he's coming off a little bit and because he plays on defense too, and he's more valuable. I'm now beginning to think he's more valuable to us offensively, on defense. But he's just so valuable on both sides of the ball. I got to have him out there.
Well, coming in for him is J.Q. Williams, number 22 in that backfield. He's to the left of Bennett Sutherland and shotgun, and on Sutherland's right is Jakari Edwards. 2 receivers to the left. They fake it to Williams. Sutherland keeps it. 30, and then slung down near the 25-yard line by Chancellor's number 11, Justice Bird.
People are saying, should that have been a horse collar? No, he got him underneath the pads. That's the only way that little cornerback could bring him down. But it wasn't a horse collar tackle.
It's really second good run of the night for Sutherland, Steve. He had one that looked a lot like that in that first half.
Well, he's dangerous with it. He can run, and that just gives another facet to his game to be able to use on offense. Is he going to keep it and run it, or is he going to throw it? He's proven he's got a good arm, And I like to see maybe, get another one connected here to Cole Plaster.
First and 10 now for the Blue Devils from the Chancellor 26-yard line. As Bennett Sutherland has Williams on his left, Jakari Edwards on his right. They will block for Sutherland, who looks downfield for a receiver. Here comes the pressure. Gets away from the first defender and then threw it out of bounds for the incomplete pass. All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. 5:21 to play here in this third quarter. The score remains unchanged from the intermission when it was 28-0. And now the Blue Devils have it, 2nd and 10 from the 26.
And the Blue Devils aren't doing anything fancy. They're just running their basic plays, and they're just moving the ball down the field.
All right, this is J.Q. Williams inside the 25, still fighting for yardage, and he got inside the 20 down to the 19, and he'll be just a little shy of another Blue Devil first down.
Looks like he's bumper pulled out there. Hits him again, spins around, gets it again, spins around. Before you know it, he's picked up 8 yards.
Yeah, or actually a little closer to 7 on this one, and it brings up 2nd and 3. So you've got Devin Polari, I guess, is getting a breather, and J.Q. Williams is in there, Jakari Edwards is in there. Bennett Sutherland has those running backs. Well, he has Jakari Edwards on his left, and he's got J.Q. Williams behind him on 2nd down and short here. They go back to Williams. Williams will have a first down as he gets brought down near the 10-yard line. And making the tackle for Chancellor was Dwayne Stewart. And yet another new set of downs for the Blue Devils here, driving, looking to increase their lead. 28-0 is the score, and that's what it was at the intermission, and the clock continues to run. 4:25 and counting here in the third.
And I know the Blue Devils, they've already played, but I know they wish they had that James Monroe game back, because I think they should have won that game. But this is going to be a good win here for the Blue Devils. I'm already going to call it this early, in the third quarter, but I don't see Chancellor coming back.
No, they just don't have the, sure, anything's possible, but just haven't really shown any glimpses of, as Jakari Edwards tiptoes this way into the end zone from 10 yards out.
Touchdown, Blue Devils! Jakari Edwards from 10 yards out now brings the score to 34-0.
And if they go for the point after and convert it, it's 35-0. If they miss it, it's 34-0. That means something in terms of the clock. And so Charles Holland is on for the point after in place of R.J. Uribe. This kick was blocked, and it's no good. So 34-0 means that we do not have a continuously running clock at this point.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Son. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. 3:56 to play here in the third, 34-0 in favor of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they went for one, knowing that their kicker's hurt, he's out with a concussion, versus go for two. You got Polari, just hand it to him, running in for 2 yards. Then you could have been up with a running clock and could have got out of here. But
in that situation, how can we not think of Devin Polari?
Yeah,
you're
right.
He's got two-point conversion successes tonight.
That's true. So
he's had a quick kick.
yeah,
He's had a couple tackles for losses. He's had the 3-yard touchdown run.
it's going to be very hard to keep him off the first team all district. I know we got some good players, Division 4 and 3, but you're going to be hard pressed to keep him off that first team. But I got an update on the score mark. It's 21-12, Eastern View over Cortland, third quarter.
Good news for the Cyclones and their fans.
And King George is up 21-7. I forget who they're playing. tonight.
Number 8 for Chancellor. John Thompson was the return
Chancellor
specialist
with the
there.
return brings up first down.
So,
I mean, I'm just trying to think. King George, they're playing Spotsylvania, I think. That's what it is. They're 21-7.
well, Eastern View had a competitive game with King George last week, and people used the expression a tale of two halves, and really you could break it down that way, where King George won the first half 23-0, and Eastern View won the second half 13-0. And in the end, a 10-point deficit and win for King George. And we did get a look at their receivers, particularly Mackay White was very effective last week. Zach Ferguson, the quarterback, played very well for King George, Steve, particularly in that first half.
Yeah, and like I said, I watched a little bit of it when I was down there in the Outer Banks and Nags Head last Friday. Trying to pick up bits and pieces of it, but it sounded like they had a good game.
Offsides on the Blue Devils brings up first down.
5-yard penalty assessed against the Blue Devils here. We're down to 3:52 to play in this third quarter, and Chancellor still scoreless, trailing 34-0. And ball at the Chancellor 38-yard line. Booman has time, throws, got a receiver caught at the 45-yard line for a first down, and this is Logan Hunter on the reception, and a rare first down for this Chancellor offensive squad, Steve.
Well, that was basically Culpeper's defense giving them too much room, off the ball, and they need to, get back up, tighten on those receivers right there. They just gave them too much of a cushion, and it was good, but good play, good catch and throw by Chancellor.
And the Chargers have it 1st and 10 now from their 47. Aiden Booman hands off. This is Dwayne Stewart. Stewart tripped up initially by Talik Thomas, and then got some help from his teammate coming over there to finish that one off. That was Jakari Edwards. So Talik Thomas and Jakari Edwards combined for that Culpeper tackle and a loss of 6 yards on the play, pushes the ball back to the 41-yard line. This broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing, outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. All right, 2nd and 15 now for the Chargers. Talik Thomas comes out late across this receiver here near side. Now Thomas shifts, confuses Chancellor, but it doesn't confuse Thomas because he and Tucker Dean were right where they wanted to be for another loss all the way back to the 35. That's back-to-back 6-yard losses for this Chancellor offense.
I know they gave back, Chancellor gave back the 5 yards a gain on the penalty, but again, Culpeper played great defense. He looked like, Edwards or Marshall was coming up on, guarding the wide receiver, but then he just slid in, and no one was going to pick him up, and they just waltzed right across the line of scrimmage for the tackle.
Brings up a 3rd and 21 now for Chancellor from its own 36. Clock continues to run. We are under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter at Roman Field, where it's been all Culpeper. Blue Devils up 34-0. And now a 3rd and very long for Aiden Booman and his Chancellor teammates. And if you're looking to get the yards back here, you're not going to get it on this play as J.Q. Williams makes the initial hit for the Blue Devils. Another loss, 3 in a row, and now 4th and very long, and Chancellor has no real option but to punt this one away again.
And see, Chancellor just doesn't have any, they try to use that screen pass to catch Culpeper napping and try to catch him in a blitz. But Culpeper stayed home and played discipline right there and able to, send Chancellor backwards on 3 consecutive plays. Now, do you go after the punt here? I mean.
Well, you do when it's really this high, don't you?
Yeah.
They came pretty close. The punter, James Hodges, did a nice job of snagging that one in the air and able to get the kickoff before it was blocked. That would have been Culpeper's 3rd blocked punt of the night. Instead, Hodges was able to deliver and avoid that catastrophe,
And
if you will.
can you say if Culpeper does get another block punt, when's the last time in our broadcasting career have we seen 3 block punts in one game?
And I'm going to have a hard time to ever recall one. I mean, do you?
Yeah, I
Do you
agree.
remember any?
No.
Well, you know, it tells me that when you think about those block punts, we talked about it earlier, and then what the Blue Devils defense is doing with these consecutive losses against Chancellor's running backs tells me that clearly the Blue Devils are winning the battle of the line of scrimmage, doesn't it you?
Yeah, but they're just pounding on Chancellor now. They're wearing them out because Chancellor just doesn't have the players. They don't have the depth. You look over there. I mean, they've only got like maybe 8 kids suited up. So, you know, they got a lot of kids playing 2 ways, and Culpeper's bigger offensive line and defensive line are starting to wear down on. You know, Chancellor's starting to wear down.
And you know, and this is a sharp contrast, Steve, to our early years in broadcasting when, like in '98, for example, we went down to Chancellor, and I think Chancellor beat Culpeper that year. And we had a guy, was it Barnes, the quarterback,
Yep.
Bobby Barnes? He ran the wishbone really well, and it just, you know, you didn't want to see Chancellor win if you're a Blue Devil fan, but here's Bennett Sutherland sacked for a loss. But when you see the wishbone run like that, it's something you don't get to see very often. But certainly they don't use it now.
That's true. That's the end of the quarter.
Well, into the third, our score, Blue Devils 34, Chargers nothing. We'll take a break, come back for the fourth and final quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Welcome back to our broadcast. Start of the fourth quarter, which witnesses Culpeper in possession, looking at a third down here, and about 13. And you mentioned a new quarterback. This one being flushed out of the pocket, then keeping it. And that is, as you pointed out, Steve, Caleb Green. This is my first look at Caleb Green. What, if anything, do you know about him?
Well, he's he's the grandnephew of one of my best friends, Mark Bryson. I know who's watching this game, and he's been telling me all about him. He's just a sophomore, it looks like, or no, ninth grader, and they got him listed here as a ninth grader, but he's was quarterback of the JV team, has done very well, came in and, played last week, and from what I understand, did very well. He's got all the tools, he understands the offense, so I'm kind of anxious to see what he's going to do here.
Well, on fourth down and 11, Devin Polari's back there, guessing a quick kick here. Ball is loose. Polari has to pick it up, breaking a couple tackles and making something out of what looked like a huge loss. He gets to the 40-yard line, actually picked up 3 yards on the play after all that. And that's where Chancellor will take over on offense. But I'm not, I don't mean to sound cynical against Chancellor, Steve. I don't try to disrespect anyone, but I'm not really sure that it's really going to matter where they get the ball.
I agree with you, Mark. And like I said, it was, when I saw fourth down, and I knew they were going to try to quick kick, and I think Chancellor did too. That's why they rushed him, and Devin didn't have time to kick it, so he just put it under and ran and almost broke it. But
Yeah. I tell you what, for determination, it'd be hard to outdo him, wouldn't it?
Yep.
And then, you know, Chancellor was, they learned in the first half that Devin Polari may quick kick the football. They had a couple guys back, as a matter of fact. 10:58 to play here in this fourth quarter, 34-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. Been all Culpeper here tonight. So we're going to have a penalty flag or penalty assessed against Chancellor. Here in the fourth quarter, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you by K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. All right, Chancellor back on offense. Good field position at the Culpeper 45. Running back here, Tyshawn Wilson gets down to the 35.
Chancellor's going to try to score. Got an updated score mark. It's not over there at Easter View. It's right now fourth quarter. Easter View 21, Cortland 19.
Wow, 21-19. Anybody's game. Fourth quarter, you say?
Yep.
And we're in the fourth here.
Yep.
Both teams here have all three of their timeouts. As we have 10:20 clock ticking, fourth quarter action. Hayden Booman hands off to Tyshawn Wilson, breaking a couple tackles. He gets past Cole Plaster in the secondary, and he continues to stay past Plaster as he gets into the end zone from 36 yards out. Touchdown, Chancellor. The Chargers are finally on the scoreboard, Steve.
Yep, they're on the scoreboard, and basically, you know, they're running against reserves too, other than Plaster out in the backfield there. But you know, Chancellor got on. They ran a good offense right there, and they just got it to their speed back, and he was able to break some tackles. Culpeper's got to do a little bit better. Even their backups have got to learn to, wrap them up, and don't just try to arm tackle them. They got to be able to wrap them up. They did on that, and Chancellor made him pay.
Dwayne Stewart on for the point after. The holder is Logan Hunter. He gets the snap down. Stewart gets the kick up. It's up and good. 34-7 in favor of the Blue Devils, but the Chargers are finally on that scoreboard. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. And also, we mentioned that we're live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. 10:02 to play in the third, 34-7 in favor of Culpeper over Chancellor.
And we're going to see a freshman, Caleb Green. He is a freshman. Martin, that bodes good for the Blue Devils. I mean, this kid's got a lot of talent, and I think that's, like I said, it's going to help the Blue Devils. And now what you got to be worried about right now, Chancellor's going to go try that onside kick, so I'd have my good hands people up front.
Well, let's take a look at some of those. Number 5, Noah Capecci is out there, and number 3 is Caleb Green. You just mentioned him, and if you can pick up some other numbers, I think 56, that's Tucker Dean up there.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. And then Shakari Edwards.
Yep.
That would really comprise that front 4 at first line there. And about 10 yards behind them is the second wall of 3 receivers. And behind them is 2, and then 2. 2, 2, 3.
It's got to go 10 yards, and so... And I, like I said, I think Chancellor's going to try it here. Let's see what the...
Okay, here it is. It is an onside kick, but that's not going to go far enough. It's got to go 10 yards, Steve.
Yep, and Culpeper's going to take over right there. But Culpeper, they're going to take over right there. Lucky, the Culpeper didn't down it. They didn't touch it, so it didn't get dead, didn't go 10 yards. So Culpeper's going to take over right there.
Fair to say it's not live until it goes 10 yards, right?
That's right.
Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. Want to mention K&M again. K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please.
And I see Bennett Sutherland on the sidelines with ice wrapped around that shoulder that he injured. So they're going to, like I said, leave it up to Caleb Green here and see how he does.
All right. Green is in. Ball carrier, Devon Cooper. Man, he fumbles it, and he's got a teammate pouncing on it there. Johnny on the spot was Tucker Dean. Called his name a few times tonight, Steve. In fact, early on with that block punt and a return for touchdown. And we've got an injured Chancellor Charger on the field.
The Charger is it Culpeper? No, it's a Charger, you're right.
On the field.
But yeah, got to hold on to that football. And but that, also can be, they're going to have to get now used to a new cadence, different sounding, from cadence from Caleb. But they have faith in him, his Blue Devil teammates, because he did, play very well last week in relief of Bennett Sutherland, who got his shoulder hurt. And again, so it's going to be, let's see how he operates. And like I said, he's only a freshman, but he knows the offense real well. And he's been playing on JV, and like I said, it's a good call-up, good time to get him some experience.
The injured player was number 66, Cameron Dodson, for Chancellor. And he appears to be okay. So, Culpeper on offense on the Chancellor side of the midfield stripe. They're going to have it the 46 with 7:47. Make that 9:47 to play here in the fourth. Both teams have all three of their timeouts. 34-7 is our score. Caleb Green, as Steve pointed out, is the new quarterback. Rolls to his right, looks downfield and throws. Got a receiver out there, and it was Mr. Plaster. Cole Plaster at the 32. That's a pickup of 14 yards and a Blue Devil first down.
And I like that throw. He put some zip on it too, and he's probably listed at, it's like maybe 6'1", maybe about 6'1", 6'2".
Well,
only a freshman. He's like I say, he's got a good arm, and he showed it right there. He zipped it right in there to Cole Plaster. Good throw and catch.
I don't have his height and weight on my roster. I have him as a freshman.
Yeah, I do too. That's all I got. As a freshman.
Oh, high snap. Green gets it down. Here comes the pressure. Throws. Gets rid of it. And incomplete. Man, I don't see a penalty flag down. That would be a good thing unless you.
No.
Was there a receiver in the vicinity?
He's outside the tackle box. He can throw it. As long as he gets past the line of scrimmage. If he was still in the tackle box and did that, it would have been intentional grounding.
Gotcha.
So.
Put it back at the 32. Second down and 10 from that spot. 34-7. Blue Devils. 9:19 to play. Cole Plaster coming to the sideline for a breather.
And Colbert ready to call timeout because they're getting ready to get a penalty against him for too many people on the field. So that's a good timeout.
All right. Our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. UVACreditUnion.org. Well, fourth quarter action. Well, Steve, they must be playing a pretty good football game over there across town at Cyclone Stadium.
Well, Cortland gets better as the season goes on. They start out, they are 0-4. Then they start, they were 4-4 coming into this game. They're on like a 4-game winning streak. And, Coach Hall's teams, they're going to play you tough. So, Eastern View's got to take care of business, especially when you're at home.
But you know what it is that has been a consistent identity with Cortland is that, and we've always, I think, attributed to the fact that their front end of their schedule is usually very tough.
Right, because they got to play all those Division 5 and Division 6 schools.
Here's Devon Cooper being tackled shy of the 30-yard line. A short pickup, perhaps 2 yards on the play. More importantly for this game, the clock continues to run, and you've got Bennett Sutherland with, you said, an ice back on his shoulder, so he's nursing the sore shoulder. And the team really does have the luxury here of putting in a backup quarterback, and the man in this spot is freshman Caleb Green.
And he's shown me something, Mark. He's for a freshman, he's got a cool level head. He's not panicking back there.
Mm-hmm.
which is a good sign.
High snap. Green gets it down. He throws. He's got a receiver open in the flat. And it's number 81 for Culpeper, Steve.
That is. I don't have him on the roster.
That might be the guy that didn't make our cut here. 81. I'm missing him.
First down on the
All
play.
right.
And also got an update score in the World Series. Houston's up 5-0.
Well, we have a Philly fan in the press box.
Bottom of the three. Bottom of three.
Yep. Andrew C. Graves is doing the public address tonight. Is that right?
Yep.
Andrew's a Philly fan and teaching in the system here. So I know he's got his heart set on the Phillies.
Yep.
But best of 7 and game 1 tonight, as you pointed out. And they play a 2-3-2 format, I think, Steve.
Yes, they do.
I'm not so sure I like that as an advantage to either team
No, I agree with you on that one.
when it's all said and done.
All right.
You're 2nd down and 4 now for the Blue Devils from the 14-yard line. They got the whole Chancellor team to jump both sides that time. Not one player, Steve. That whole team virtually jumped
Well,
off.
that's the you got a new quarterback in there, the cadence, and he's barking the signals, and they think that it's not Bennett Sutherland, somebody new, and he was able to draw him off. Good play, good call.
But I think that when you're talking about new cadence, sometimes it can throw your own players
That's
off
true.
and they're jumping. But it didn't work that time. It worked against Chancellor. Okay, they now have the ball at the 8. Back to the run they go. This is Devon Cooper, number 16, fighting his way down to about the 3, it looks like.
Yeah, he just,
Well, you might as well warm up those vocal cords again, Steve. I like their chances here.
I do too. You got 2nd down and goal, 3 yards out. See what Caleb can do to lead his team in here to pay dirt.
Well, I'll tell you someone's name we haven't called tonight. Number 2, Garrett Danewood.
No, we haven't really.
But he's been playing. Just hasn't stood out for one reason or another. But I think that they haven't really targeted him tonight as a receiver. Here's Green at the 5. Green diving for the pylon. And he's in.
Touchdown, Blue Devils! Caleb Green on a 3-yard sprint into the corner, touching the pylon. Culpeper's TD. They're up now 40-7 right now.
40-7, that's correct. Up by 33 points. Now, do you go for 2 here and make it a 35-point lead?
Yes, I think they are this time.
I think you do. You don't have R.J. Uribe. What have you got to lose? You've had, but I don't see.
No, they're going to try it again.
Are they? Yeah, I guess so. Devin Polari's in there, but he's in there to block. The holder for Charles Holland is number 14, Cole Plaster.
I don't understand why they don't want to go for 2, but I guess they don't want to run.
Well,
they
here's Cole Plaster. This was a fake all the way. He's throwing incomplete. Looking for Devin Polari, and they had him blanketed there, and he ran out of real estate anyway in that end zone.
I see. Yeah, it was good. That's a good play call right there. Fake it. But I think it just got a little bit too late for Cole to get it out there.
And then Devin Polari ran off the grass and onto a much harder surface.
Yeah, he's back. He's coming. Is he all right? I mean, is there an injury? Yeah, I think he's okay. Yep. And so now it's going to be Culpeper's going to be kicking off. I'm just seeing sort of confusion. Do you see anybody? See?
In what way?
Polari, did he get off the track?
I think they're still attending time.
Okay.
Let's take a look. John's back to it. There he is. Holding his leg.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Sports medicine care through UVA Health.
Well, it looks like he might have a cramp.
A department of UVA Health, Culpeper Medical Center.
We'll get this spot in too because this is very important. We're very grateful for our supporters of Blue Devils and Cyclones football here on the Culpeper Media Network. And that includes CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. 6:37 to play now. Devin Polari headed back this toward his sidelines.
He's walking a little gingerly. He might have twisted his ankle or something, on that track trying to stop. So
Right, because he was coming off the grass out of the corner of that end zone, and then he actually fell onto the track.
yeah, I would be if I was Coach Ford, you're going to be sitting down, son.
Short kick
you
by
can't-
Holland and recovered by Chancellor at the 43.
I'd be saying, you've done a yeoman-like job today, and you could just take a seat and watch your teammates.
Brings up first down.
Well, really, what a gallant effort. I mean, and he just, Devin Polari is the kind of player that, he just really makes the most out of every opportunity, whether it's offensive or defensive plays.
Right. Exactly. He's a hard-nosed football player. And so now, like I said, Culpeper is now you got Caleb Green out there on defense as well, playing it. Looks like he's going to play a linebacker. It looks like.
Caleb Green is out there.
No, he's going to play an outside linebacker.
Yeah, he's on this right side, although now he comes up to match up as a cornerback against this receiver for Chancellor, number 17. That's Logan Hunter. Let's check for other personnel changes. I think we've got one at quarterback there, Steve. Throwing down incomplete on the play. No, actually, they didn't make a change. Number 9 is Aiden Booman. They still go with him. But you mentioned, and this is just one of the differences between now and today and yesterday. Yesterday meaning several years ago. But the number of players Chancellor has way down from what we were accustomed to seeing.
Oh yeah, I mean it just shows me. I mean I've never seen a Chancellor team that did with just that little bench right there. They used to have a lot of players, but times are starting to change a little bit.
Tyshawn Wilson, the ball carrier, and Tucker Dean makes the solo tackle near the line of scrimmage.
And it's becoming harder now for school. You got the injury factor, concussions. You got parents really concerned about their kids playing football. Is it, it's a hard sport, but it's a fun sport, and it teaches a lot of values, and it guides you on for the rest of your life. And it's like I said, it's just becoming now. It's getting harder and harder to get the kids to come out and play.
Mm-hmm. Maybe playing other sports or just not going out for football, maybe is like they did in the past.
Right.
And you've seen some programs, some high schools rather ditch their high school program.
Manassas Park right there.
Right, Manassas Park did this year. This is the receiver being gang tackled was Logan Hunter. Yeah, Manassas Park. I remember a couple years ago, Parkview of Sterling was thinking about ditching theirs. I don't think they did, though, did they?
No, they did.
But that was hard to believe in a way, too, because I know in 1999 and 2000, Parkview played in the Division IV state finals. And then, 20 years later, saying, okay, well, they're thinking about ditching the program. I mean, obviously things change, but it just kind of seemed like an unlikely source.
Well, yeah, I remember going over to JMU watching it with you, Parkview Sterling, when Mickey Thompson, who's now still coach at Stonebridge, I think.
Was coaching Parkview?
Yeah.
Right. We saw one of the games over at Liberty University as Tyshawn Wilson picks up good yardage for Chancellor, gives the team, looks like a new set of downs as they mark it at the Blue Devil 35, it looks like. And that's pick up at 22 yards.
It's a final right now. It is King George 34-14 final over Spotsy. Eastern View's leading late in the fourth quarter, 27-19.
So they added some points.
Yep.
It was, what was it?
21-19.
Yeah. So good chance Eastern View gets leaves Cyclone Stadium with a win tonight.
Yep. I want to thank Ronnie Harper for giving me those scores. Keeping us updated on the other games here going on around the Battlefield District.
All right, Ronnie, thanks for providing those for us. And Tyshawn Wilson, the ball carrier. Jakari Edwards, the tackler, near the 30-yard line. and a pickup of 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Clock continues to run as we approach this 4-minute mark of the 4th and final quarter here at Broman Field, where it's been virtually all Culpeper tonight, and the Blue Devils up 40-7.
It looks like Jakari's coming out a little bit shaken up. And see, that's what they want. They don't want, if now you're going to the playoffs, and know they're going to be in the playoffs. You still don't know what's going on in the King George game on Tuesday, but you don't want to get your kids all banged up.
And that was one of the things that Coach Ford and I talked about before the game. Here's Aiden Booman. He's going to throw. This one thrown a little behind the receiver, but this one is caught by number 8, John Thompson.
And, even the coach took his second-string quarterback, Caleb Green, off the field too, because again, he's shown he can play that position. And he's only a freshman, and you don't want to get him out there getting hurt. So.
And Steve, I'm going to correct myself and say the pass was caught by number 3, Kenneth Parker.
Okay.
Not John Thompson. But in any event, the ball down now at the 15. This is Stewart, the ball carrier, looking for running room, and he can't escape the grasp of number 5, Noah Capecci. And we see some other players in there, Steve. How about number 26, Elliot Butler?
61, do we have a 61? No, okay. Can't see from here. 67 it looks like. Don't have that either. 57.
Try again, Jaden Hendrickson.
And also we got number 70, Austin Nichols.
70, that's Austin Sellers, right?
So Austin Sellers, yeah.
All right. I think he was one of the seniors mentioned tonight. Yes. Here is Stewart being swarmed by 3 or 4 Blue Devils there, including number 11, Logan Allen. So this is sort of a good opportunity and a fun thing to do when you start mentioning some names that you don't get to a lot during the season.
That's true. That's true.
Ball at the 23-yard line. We're down to 1:55 and counting here in this one. And both teams, well, Chancellor has all 3 of its timeouts remaining, and Culpeper has 2. All right, now, from the 23, this one thrown and caught and then dropped, but pouncing on it there was right there was the receiver who caught it, and that was Logan Hunter. So any other players, Steve, whose numbers we haven't picked up? Number 33, Jack Lehman is number 33. He's in there.
That's true.
Let's see. Anyone else?
No, not that I know of.
Chancellor with the pass, brings up 4th down and short.
Well, 4th down and about a yard here for the Chargers. The ball at the, looks like the 7-yard line. Okay.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be offsides against Culpeper.
Offside Blue Devils.
Half the distance of the goal. Mark it at the 3. 59 seconds, and the clock continues to run. And Chancellor, I suppose, just content not to use those timeouts?
Yeah, they just want to get out. They're going to try to score here before they go. But
all right, under center now is the quarterback, Aiden Booman. Behind him, Tyshawn Wilson. Booman going to throw for the end zone. They go up for it, and that was intended for Kenneth Parker, and defending was Garrett Damewood for the Blue Devils. And now with the incomplete pass, turnover on downs, and the Blue Devils.
Turnover, they're still saying it's second down.
Second? Where do we get second?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what it was. It was that 5-yard penalty, half the distance to go, made it first down.
Right,
So this is second.
Right.
Yeah, my mistake. And 33 seconds clock stopped on the incomplete pass. In that backfield is Tyshawn Wilson. Will he be the ball carrier here? Aiden Booman under center. And it is Wilson. There goes Wilson down to about the 1. Stretching it, won't get in this time.
They're going to let that clock run, or they might not have enough time to. They're going to call timeout.
Well, now they have it at the 1 yard line.
Yep.
And it's going to be 3rd and goal from there.
Yeah, and Chancellor's going to want to score here before make it more respectable, 40-14. But we'll see. See if the defense can rise up and keep them out.
Well, new names to call for us this game as Jaden Hendrickson, number 57, is in there. We mentioned number 33, Jack Lehman.
23.
Well, 23 is, 23,
James
Miles. And I want to revisit the fact that, we had
number 11, Logan Allen.
Right. We had 12 seniors recognized here tonight, Steve.
Yep.
And before the start of the game.
We got 2. Garrett Danewood, he's in. We've got the Holland boys are still in.
Yeah, 12 seniors mentioned in
There we go.
that were honored. And here it is. Now 3rd and goal from the 1 after the timeout. Aiden Booman, the quarterback, will operate under center. He's got Tyshawn Wilson behind him. They fake it to Wilson. Here's the throw into the end zone, making a diving catch, and making it was, let's pick it up, it's number 81, Steve. You have him on your roster?
Not here.
Well, let's take a look here. Maybe it is a number 81. I don't have 81.
Yeah, it was a Chancellor touchdown. So
16 seconds left, and it was a
just
3-yard touchdown pass?
Yep, 3-yard touchdown pass. It was just, I didn't think he caught it, but it was a good play. He made a diving catch, and he caught it.
40-13 our score with 16 seconds remaining, and the point after will be tried by Dwayne Stewart. The holder is Logan Hunter. And the Blue Devils are offsides on that one. I think what they do here is they move it half the distance to the goal, don't they?
Yep, they move it half the distance to the goal, or can they take the kick? Because it was good. I would take the kick.
They have that option.
Yeah, because they continue to play even though they're offsides.
Mm-hmm. It's a free play for the offense, right?
Yep. Well, they're going to look like they'll make them kick it again. No, they're going to. Well, come on, Mr. Official.
Yeah, let's get it all figured out here. Offsides, Culpeper. Redo it. Mm-hmm.
Flag is on Culpeper, offsides.
I don't understand that it's offsides even though they continue to play. Why wouldn't they accept the kick? Who knows?
Well, let's say stranger things have happened.
Yep.
All right, they set back up for this. But this time now, they opt to go for the 2-pointer. All right, Aiden Booman. Hands off. Tyshawn Wilson, he's in there, and it's good. So that'll make it 40-15 in favor of Culpeper. 16 seconds to play here in this one. All right, well, and I mentioned our timeout sponsor this year is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. That's UVAcreditunion.org. All right. Well, Steve, it's been, I know the game's not over, 16 seconds, but it's been fun to be here tonight at Broman Field.
Sure
always,
is.
And to watch some of these players, really possibly play their last home game here.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what they do with King George
What
Tuesday.
they do with King George, and like I said, that's going to be interesting to see what they play. I mean, I would think that if it's not going to affect any of the seeding on either, King George or Culpeper side, I don't think they'll play it. But if it has something to do with maybe a team bumping up or bumping down, they could do it. And see, King George took care of business against Spotsylvania, so they're still undefeated. And their only game left they have to make up is Culpeper. So Culpeper's going to get their 3rd win of the season, correct? Or is it going to be, 3rd win?
And this will be their first one since they defeated Caroline.
So they'll go up to.
So they were 2-6. This would make them 3-6, right?
3-6, yeah.
With one game remaining, and they may or may not play it.
Right.
All right. So if we go through their wins this year, Steve, they beat Fauquier. Here's a short kick. Downing it smartly as the return man there at the 22-yard line. And that was Devon Cooper. Well, I was going to say, so the 3 wins during this regular season have been over Fauquier, Caroline, and now Chancellor.
Yep.
We would have thought they would have beaten James Monroe, but, things happen.
Yeah, they didn't get that one. And they were in competitive with Cortland for a while, but they ended up losing that one 26-6 or something like that.
And then what about the Spotsylvania game?
Yep, Spotsylvania game was really that was Spotsylvania came and turned it up in the second half. I don't know why Culpeper just doesn't take a knee. Thank you.
And they are. That's Caleb Green doing that. And Chancellor won't use his timeouts. Why would you? Let's let those final seconds tick off the clock. And they are ticking off. And the teams are lining up. And this is official. Our final score, 40-15 in favor of the Blue Devils. Big win tonight for them. All right, Steve, let's wrap it up, and then we'll go.
All right, and basically we're going to see what's going to happen on Tuesday, Mark, with King George and Culpeper. But like I said earlier, that's to be determined. Culpeper had a good game today. They came out. They basically dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage against a really undersized Chancellor team. But they came in, they got the win, and they took care of business, what they needed to do. And they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to probably be either a 7th or an 8th seed, probably a 7th. And they're going to have in the playoff start on November the 11th on Friday, which is Veterans Day.
Sounds good. All right, well said. Well, for Johnny and Steve and Nicole back in the studio, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll be back in the broadcast booth whenever we sort out what our playoff schedule is going to be. Until then, so long, everybody.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.